Why do we have insulin resistance? Insulin resistance happens when the body cell that has the insulin receptor stop or start rejecting the insulin. There are four main reasons why we get insulin resistance. First of all, it's because that our insulin level gets too high. Secondly, it's because when we have frequent meals, for example, 5 meals a day, we will not able to let the insulins come down and it will keep continuing to go up. Third reason is because our sugar intake is too massive. The fourth reason is because our fructose intake is too high. In my previous videos, I did mention that when you consume carbohydrates, your insulin level actually spikes up the highest. So if you constantly keep having carbohydrates, you realize that your insulin stay high at all times. Therefore, when you were taught previously to have frequent meals but small meals, for example 5 meals a day on small portions, what will happen is that when the insulin spikes up, before it can come down, you have another meal and the insulin starts spiking up again. So before the insulin is able to come down, you have another meal, it will spike up again. So your insulin level actually constantly stays high. Simple sugar, which is our white sugar, is actually made up of 50% glucose and 50% fructose. Now the glucose will be used up by our body as fuel for energy. However, fructose can only be metabolized by our liver and turns it into fats. Fructose do not have any effects on our leptin or our insulin. Therefore, you realize that when someone is really full, but you have given them a dessert, they are still able to consume even though they are full. Because it do not have any effects on leptin, which is our satiety hormones which tell us we are full, therefore we tend to eat more. Fructose triggers another hormone in our brain called dopamine. It's also known as the happy or pleasure hormones. The more we eat, the more we desire for more. Every body cell that has the insulin receptor do have a maximum capacity for insulin. So when the insulin is too high and the body cell has reached its maximum capacity for insulin, it will start to reject or stop responding to insulin. Therefore, we will develop insulin resistance. When we have insulin resistance, or what we call hypoinsulinemia, which is high in insulin, there are a few symptoms we can take note of. First, you realize that you start to gain body fats in your meat belly. Secondly, when you have your blood test, your doctor will likely tell you that you have high triglyceride and low HDL. You will also have high blood pressure and high uric acid. At the same time, it is very likely that you have fatty liver. In the recent medical study, it is believed that insulin resistance is one of the main contributors for our chronic diseases of today, which includes heart attack, diabetes, as well as dementia. Insulin resistance is also believed to be the culprit for our high amount of viscous fat. Viscous fat are fats that's hidden deep inside our organs. It is also believed to be the contributor for type 2 diabetes.